So inshallah we're going to start. So last time we did A'udhu Billahi, we understood the meaning of that, and then we also understood the meaning of Alhamdulillahi. So there are few words left in these three parts. We will try to understand them. Okay. So first of all, some rules here that will help us understand. So for example, if we have these three letters, Fa, Ain and Lam, okay, the meaning of these three is to do in English. Or for the purpose of understanding, we can also say to perform. Okay? Someone is doing something, he is performing something. Okay? So how do we make, if the person is doing something, we call him a doer. A person who does is a doer, or a person who is performing is performer. Okay? So the English is just performer. So what we do, we just add E and R at the end, it becomes the person, or the one who is doing something. How do we do the same thing in Arabic? What we do in Arabic, we put an alif between the first and the second letters. So this will be Fa, and we add an alif there. And then we take the second and third letters and combine like that. Okay? And for pronunciation, we put a fataha on this one, the first one, the zabar. So that will be pronounced as Fa. On the second letter, we put a kasra, there. So it is Fa'i. And on the third one, we put two dhammas or two pitch. So the sound will be Fa'ilun. Fa'ilun is the person who is performing or is doing. Okay? So the rule is that always last two letters have two dhammas or two pitch at the end. Now think of some words. Sajidun or Sajid. If you stop, you will say Fa'il. But if you continue pronouncing, it will be Fa'ilun. But it is Fa'il. Sajid. Who is Sajid? The one who makes sajda. Is performing sajda. Hamid is a person who is performing the hum. Okay. So in order to make the doer, we just add an alif here. Okay. Now, in English, if someone is doing, you don't know how is he performing. Is he performing good or is he performing bad? So to add the quality, you have to say good performer, or someone who is performing a lot of performing. Okay, so he's a big time performer. Okay, so but in Arabic, we don't add the words as a good performer or big performer. What we do, we just add more letters here or different letters here. So if I do it this way, if I just, instead of putting an alif here, I put a ya between ain and lam. Okay, so it will be fa, ain, and ya and lam. Okay. So fa, ain is kasra, and a ya, and lam has two sukun, two mother here. Fa'ilun. Fa'ilun is someone who performs a lot. Okay. Fa'ilun or fa'il is someone who is performing. But fa'ilun is this person who is performing a lot. Okay. So it brings the concept of performer, but a lot. Okay. So this is the rule. Now let's take an example. Let's take the example that we know. Let's take these three letters. Ain, Lam and Mim. This means to know. ilm means knowledge. Okay? And lam and mim is to know. If I apply the first rule here, this will become alim, malimun, or if you stop, you'll say alim. Alim is someone who knows, okay? A scholar. You know, alim is someone who knows, who is a scholar. You go to a college or you go to a madrasa, you get the diploma and you will be called alim. Okay? So this means one who knows. Okay? Now if you apply this rule here, this will be alimun. Alimun, one who knows lot. Who knows a lot, right? Now think of what we know. Alim is someone who is a scholar, but we don't call him alim. Even though he has 10 degrees, we don't call. Why? Because alim is one who knows so much a lot. Okay? So only Allah's name is Alim. Al-Alim is the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or one of the Asma al-Husna. So difference is that from the same three letters, we make two kinds of performers, two kinds of doers. One who knows a lot. Okay, so that's how you will see the word alim in the Quran and you will see the word alim in the Quran. Okay? So difference will be one who does something little and one who does a lot. Okay? So that is the way of making these things. Okay? Now I want to add one more thing here. Okay? And this time, so just to be a little bit more explaining, in this case we put a ya here only. So I'm going to put a different color. Okay. In this case we added an alif here. Okay. Fa'ilun and fa'ilun. Fa'ilun, someone who knows, the other words, someone who does, and someone who does a lot. Okay. Now I'm going to use one more thing, that if I, and the reason I'm explaining these, because once we understand the concept, we will go back to these, and from there you will really understand the meaning of the words which are there. Okay. So now there is a third category. If I combine the three letters fa, an, and lam, and add an alif at the end and noon at the end. Okay. So this is fa'alanun. This will be pronounced as fa'alanun. What is this word? Again, it's a performer. Okay? Or it's a doer. But this performer or this doer does something regardless of what happens in the world. Okay? And I'll use the example for that. The word, let's see, I'm just writing that these three letters. From these three letters, actually ta, ghain and ya, and I put these three letters ta, ghain and ya together and add an alif and a noon. Okay, and put the same harakats to, ya, noon. Do we know what Tughyan is? Tughyani. Okay. Tughyani is when the river, it rains a lot and the water flows inside the river, it benefits people. But if it rains a lot, then water comes in the river, it overflows the bank. What happens when it overflows? The same water which was beneficial, it starts destruction. That's called Tughyan. Okay. So what happens? There is so much of the same thing that it doesn't care if there's a crop, destroys that. If there is child playing, it drowns the child. Tughyan. So some characteristic of water which does whatever it wants to do regardless. Okay. Another example is Tufan. What is Tufan? Tufan is rain, but when it becomes Tufan, the same rain becomes Tufan. It rains so much that it starts destroying. Okay. So what is there? There is intensity. In this word, Fa'alan, there is intensity, and regardless of what comes in the way. Okay. So keep these physical concepts in mind, because we are going to understand the words with this concept here. Okay. So now, keeping these two things in mind, let's look at the word Rahama. Raha and Mim. This means to have mercy. Okay. Now, if I apply this rule, Fa'ilun or Alimun, this will become Rahimun. Or if you stop, you can say Rahim. Okay. So the word is Rahimun. What is the quality of this word here? Or Fa'ilun? A lot. Intensity. Okay. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name, we learned Bismillah last time. Start in the name of Allah, whose attribute is Rahim. Ar-Rahim. Al means the. So the word is Rahim. So Rahim means the one who has a lot of mercy. Okay. The one who shows a lot of mercy. The intensity of the mercy is there. Okay. So it's not just simple mercy, but a lot of mercy. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is merciful with intensity. A lot of mercy. Okay. And then not only that, we put al before that. Al means the. Okay. So we can translate this, someone that has something a lot in it, we can say the most merciful. Okay. The most means a lot. Merciful. Okay. So al Rahimun. And we learned that when we put al, we have pronounced only one dhamma here, one page. So it is al Rahimu. When you stop, you say ar-Rahim. Okay. So that is the last word of this one. Okay. Now here the word was ar-Rahim. Okay. What happens when ra and lam come together? You don't pronounce lam. So you pronounce Ar-Rahimu. Okay. But here this was Allahu. Last time we learned this was Allahu. Okay. This is the sifat. These two are the sifat or adjective of this word Allahu. But because of the Bismillahi, this become Bismillah, this become Bismillahi. So this word will be pronounced Rahmani. It is actually Rahmano. This is Rahimu, as we see here. But the sifat or the adjective are pronounced the same way. So if you are pronouncing Allahi, then you will pronounce Rahmani and Rahim. If this is Allahu, then this will be Rahmanu, this will be Rahim. Meaning does not change. In Arabic, the pronunciation, the sound changes. So now, keep in mind that this is the sifat, this is the attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ar-Rahimu. Okay? We don't give this name to people. We can call Abdur Rahim, slave of Allah, slave of Rahim, but not Al-Rahim, not Ar, because now this is the merciful, the most merciful. Okay? So that is the most merciful. Okay? So this will become the most merciful. Okay? Now we also learn another word that if you put alif and noon at the end, okay, put the alif and noon with these same three letters. Rahman. That's this word here. Okay? So let's learn a little bit more about this word. So this word, if I put alif and noon, this will become Rahman. You can write down it this way, or you can write down this way. Rahman. Rahmanun or Rahmanun. Same thing. Okay? This alif can be written like that. Okay? So the meaning is the same. Rahama means to show mercy. But now this word, as I explained to you, is at the scale of Tufan, Tughyan. Okay? Not only the intensity. Intensity is here also in Rahim. But there is one more thing on that, in this one, which is in this mercy, in this rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it doesn't matter who comes in the path. Just like in Tughyan or Tufan, it doesn't come who is in the path. Everybody gets it. So the Rahman is the sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever comes in the path of the rahmah, or mercy, if it is a person who is disbelieving, he is doing kufr, but mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is filling his refrigerator with the food. It's not stopping it. It doesn't care if the person is disobeying Allah or doing kufr or shirk or doing zulm or anything. Mercy of Allah is upon him, otherwise he may not be able to have one single bite of food in his mouth. So his mercy of this sifat Rahman is regardless who in the creation is doing what. He is giving to everybody. He has decided that he is going to provide to everyone. He is not going to stop if someone disobeying, rejecting, disbelieving, doing kufr, shirk, zulm, anything. He has decided to provide him. He has decided to give him health. He has decided to give him wealth. He gives. So that is Rahman. Just like Tughyan and Tufan, rain doesn't care who is going to get benefit or not. It keeps coming down. The water in the river keeps overflowing, doesn't matter somebody benefits or not from it. So regardless of the results, the action is happening there. So that is Rahman. Now in English we translate this most gracious, or any translation then, but understanding is this, that the basic difference between Rahman and Rahim is that in Rahim there is intensity of the mercy. In the Rahman is regardless who is merciful. Okay? So that is the meaning of Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I start in the name of Allah, who has these two adjective qualities and attributes, that Rahman and Ar-Rahim. The same thing, you put al before that, it becomes ar-Rahman. Okay? So this is the grammatical difference in the meaning of ar-Rahman and ar-Rahim. Okay? Because both have the same starting root letters, Rahama. But by the rule of Arabic, it creates more and more valuable words of the same three letters. Okay? So, fa'ilun. Okay, now one more thing. Now remember, I'm going to go back. Look at this word here. Rajim. It's at the same scale as here, fa'il. Look at this word here. Alif and Noon at the end. Okay? That's at this scale. Okay, so once we go into the understanding of these two words, you will see that they will follow the intensity and a lot of other things in there. Okay? Bismillah. Now let's go back to these words. A'udhu billahi, I seek protection with Allah. We did that last time. Okay? Now let's look at these two words. What are those two words here? Okay? But keep in mind that they will follow the rule here. Okay? So, the first word, it starts with these three letters, Sheen, Ta, and Noon. Okay. This is a slightly different formation, but it's about the same. Shatana means to rebel. Actually, apply the same thing. This will be shaitan. Shaitan. Okay. If I write down together, it will be like this.
The one who does shaitan.
Who rebels.
The performer,
Yeah, so the rebellious, right?
yeah.
One who is rebelling is called shaitan. Okay? You can call some child shaitan because he's being very naughty. He's rebelling. It's a simple action. Okay? But when you put al before that, now you are saying the rebellious. Okay? The. And this is given to the name to only one
Sure.
individual whose name is Iblis. Okay? Okay? Iblis. Okay? Iblis is that individual who disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? And not only he disobeyed, but he rebelled against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he was the one who rebelled against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He talked back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? So, when you read this pronounce, Sheen kills the sound of Lam and you pronounce Ash-Shaitan. Okay? So, Ash-Shaitan is this one has the intensity. So, this has the intensity and limitless disobedience, regardless disobedience or rebellion. Okay? So that is ash-shaitan. So we are making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I seek protection with Allah. Okay? Min means from. Okay? So min means from. Okay? And min is a harf-e-jar. We remember few harf-e-jars. B means with. Okay? And leave means to. Okay? So min means from. So what harf-e-jar does? It looks at the next word and last letter it changes a dhamma to a kasra.
To say.
So that's the reason. This was ash-shaytanu. Here, when we put al, it became shaytanu. When we put min, It becomes shaitani. Okay, that's the reason there is a shaitani here. So the original word was shaitanun, then it became ash-shaitanu, then it became minash shaitan. From the shaitan, from the iblis, from the one who is the most rebellious to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we are making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, oh Allah, I seek refuge, I seek protection with Allah from ash-shaitan, from the one who is the most rebellious. Okay? So this is from. Okay? And now, the next word is Ra, Jim and Mim. Okay, Rajama. Rajama, one, when we go to Hajj, you say Rajam, Rajmi. One means to throw a stone, and also this means to reject. To reject something. Okay? And again, it's following this rule here. Rajimun is the one who has been rejected with the intensity. Okay? So, this is the sifat of shaitan, that he has been completely rejected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rajama, because the intensity is there. Someone disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he gets punished. But this individual who is ash-shaitan is completely cursed and rejected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that is rajim. Okay? So see, in Arabic, the words are made on certain scales. Simple performer will be fa'ilun. The one who has intensity is fa'ilun. And the one who is most regardless is fa'alun. Okay? So, rahimun and rajimun are made at this scale. Shaitan is made at this scale. Rahman is made at this scale. Okay? So this is how in the Arabic the concept is brought in. In English you don't have that kind of freedom. Here you just add few more letters in the same word and it becomes different meaning. Okay? So this is the meaning of Rahman, Rahim and Shaitan and Rajim. Okay? So that completes the meaning of those two. Now we did the meaning of Alhamdulillahi. Let's look at the meaning of these two words. Okay? Rabbil Alameen. Okay? So these two words start with these root letters Ra, Ba and Ba. Okay. The meaning is to provide. Or to raise, or to sustain. Okay? And if I combine these, Rabbun means provider or sustainer or the one who looks after or takes care of that. In English they translate this word as the Lord, which actually came from the Bible, but that is not the true meaning of this word. Okay. So that is Rabbun. Okay. Then you have the word with these three letters, Ain, Lam and Mim. And we just saw the meaning of this word. We made the word Alim and Alim. Okay? So, but there is one difference here. If I take this word and called alimun, and I take the same three letters and pronounce only with one difference here. This word we just saw, alim, the one who has a knowledge, like fa'ilun, sajidun. Okay? But when we put a fatah here, it becomes the totally different meaning. The meaning of this word is world. Alam. That's your name, right?
Yeah.
That means world. Okay? So that's the difference in the meaning. Alimun, if you stop, you say alim, scholar. This is alamun, but if you stop, you say alam. Alam means word. Okay? Now this means one word. Its plural is alamun. Alamuna. Alamuna. How we make the plural is that we add vav and nun. Okay, and we know a lot of words. Muslim, Muslimun. If you stop, you say alamun. You stop, you say Muslimun. Munafiq, Munafiqun. So in Arabic, how we make a plural? Sajidun. Sajid is one person who is making sajda. Sajidun are those people who are making sajda. So when you add a vav and nun at the end, it becomes plural. Okay? So alamuna is the word that we are going to use here. Okay? It means, meaning is words, plural. Huh? Okay? And then if I put al before that, al means the, so this becomes the word, the words. And we will pronounce it al-alamuna. Okay? Al-alamuna. Okay? Now, we have two words, Rabbun, and we have the word al-alamuna. Means the words. Now these are two separate words. Okay. Now last time we learned something that if we have a word kitabun, kitabun means book. And we have a word, let's say Allahu. Okay. Allah. Two separate words. If we want to make a relationship between these two, we learn that we just simply put in English we put an off in between. Now it becomes book of Allah. And we learn what we do in Arabic. In this one we just remove one dhamma. Kitabu, in this case, Allah. Okay. So one more time. First noun, noun always has two dhammas. We remove one dhamma from it. So it becomes kitabu. The second noun, we take the dhamma or the pesh and change into
Zero.
kasra or zair. What we actually did here, we changed the sound of O in English into the sound of E in English, right? Or the sound of wow in Arabic is dhamma.
Oh,
We change the sound of wow into the sound of ya, right? Because wow has the sound of dhamma and ya has the sound of kasra, and alif has the sound of fatha. So basically here we change the sound from the sound of wow to the sound of ya, dhamma to a kasra. So instead of pronouncing Allahu, we pronounced Allahi. Okay. Now we have these two words, Rabbun and Al-Alamuna, right? So what we do, we put an off in between. Okay. So now we have established a relationship. Provider or sustainer of the worlds. Okay. What we do in Arabic, we change this one to one dhamma. Okay, now in this case, this word was a singular word. Okay, but this word is a plural word. Okay, so this has the sound of this wow, right? The sound of dhamma. So we will change this to the sound of kasra, which is the ya, right? So we just change this to a ya. So now notice that it become alamina. It was alamuna.
Right.
Now it become alamina. Okay. So original word was alamun. Its plural was alamuna. Then we put al to bring the meaning of the. And once we combine with another word to make a relationship, then the effect of the combination will be alamina. Okay, so word is now Rabbul Alamina. Okay, but then we see here that this is Rabbul, but here actually Rabbi. And this was Alamina, it is Alamini. Okay? This change will happen because these are the sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? And as I said, the noun and the sifat are spoken with the same sound. So this is Lillahi, so this is Rabbi Alamin. Okay. If this was not there, this was a Dhamma there, then this will remain as it is. Okay. So adjectives are carry the sound of the nouns. Okay. So these are the very basic. Once we know, and actually you know a lot now, because once now we go into the real Quranic meanings, all these rules will keep coming back and back and back. But these are the basic fundamental rules, and they happen to fall in only, in lot in these three small sentences. Okay? So once we know these basic rules, and there will be so much repetition that you really don't have to memorize them or practice them. By repetition you will know how the words are being created. Okay? Some very basic rules, if you know, some fundamental rules, that all the nouns have two dhammas at the end. Whenever there is al, it takes away one dhamma. When there is a harf jar, it changes dhamma into a kasra. Okay? And whenever you have two nouns in combine, then you make these simple changes. That first noun, remove one dhamma. The second noun becomes kasra. Okay? It will apply almost in every ayat. Every ayat will go these kind of transformations in the in the writing together. That individual, that's the reason I said in Arabic, every word has impact on the other word, and it changes the sound. And individually, the words have very different sound, but when they are put next to one another, they keep impacting one another, and the sound keeps modified. Okay? And then you can see so much here. This was not A'uzu, this was A'awuzu, we saw that.
Yeah, right.
This was Allahu, become Allahi. This was Min, but become Mina. The original word is Min, Mim and Noon with a sukoon. But in order to pronounce, we pronounce this with a fatha, Nash.
Yes.
If you don't pronounce, it will be Min Ash-Shaitan. But because of combination, there was a sukoon actually. In the beginning, there was a sukoon, Min, is from. But in the recitation, we don't pronounce Min, we pronounce Mi, Nash. And then this was Shaitanu, but because of the Al, it becomes Ash, Shaitan. And it became Shaitani. This was Rajimun, it became Ar-Rajimu, then it became Ar-Rajimi. And now notice also the beauty of this thing. Notice that starting from here, B has a kasra, he has a kasra, Mim has a kasra, this has kasra. So when you pronounce the words which are ending with the sound of E, it is easy to pronounce. It becomes very smooth on the tongue. The pronunciation becomes very smooth on the tongue. Okay? If you keep the original words in there and Dhamma, Kasra, Fatha, the sound will come out fluctuating like this, because the sound of O is very sound on the different E. Okay? So here you see that is a very smooth pronunciation, Mina Shaitanir Rajim. Try to hear some reciter. These three sentences, Auzu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim, easy on the tongue. Okay? The same thing is happening here. You can see that almost every word has changed its original sound into this sound where it became smooth on the tongue. So maybe this is what Arabs did in the beginning, long before the Quran. The Quran just followed the language. So that when they were speaking, they changed the sound of the words to be easy on the tongue. More rhythm in the sound of the language. Okay? So again, same thing we have Lillahi Rabbil Alameen also. So it brings the rhythm and the beauty in the pronunciation if we know how these words are forming with one another. Okay? So we should stop here.
Yeah.
So then we'll go to the next Maliki Abdin after that.
Wow. Bismillah.